Spain is a country with cultural and historical richness, known for its beaches, food, and stunning architecture. Everybody knows about the famous tomato festival of the country, or the delicacies like churros and paella the country has given. However, the country has more to offer than just food and festivals. So, stay with me to learn these curiosities about Spain. You will embark on a journey that will reveal what life is like in this country, surprising places, features of its culture, geography, and much more. Number 1. Spain, or the Kingdom of Spain, to give the country its official title, is the second largest country in the European Union after France. It measures up at around 506,000 square kilometers if you include the Canary Islands and the Spanish territories along the North African coastline. Number 2. Like many other European countries, what we know as modern-day Spain was once a collection of individual kingdoms. That changed in the 15th century when Fernando of Aragon and Isabel of Castile married and united their respective kingdoms. And if you thought learning one new language was hard enough, most of these kingdoms had their own language too. Number 3. There are an estimated 440 million native Spanish speakers around the world, second only to Mandarin. But while Spanish is the official language of Spain, the regional languages of Catalan, Basque, Euskera, and Galician, Gallego, all have official status in their respective regions. Number 4. With its Mediterranean climate of hot, dry summers and mild, wet winters, you might be tempted to strip off while in Spain. With 3,000 hours of sunshine a year, there are also few better places to top up your tan. And any budding naturists out there will be pleased to know nudity is legal in Spain, although it's considered inappropriate in plenty of places. Number 5. Spain is home to 47 million people, and while you might think that sounds crowded, in reality, 3/4 of the population live in urban areas. Around 6.5 million, for instance, live in the Madrid metropolitan area, while 5.5 million reside in the Barcelona metropolitan area. This means both cities have larger populations than New Zealand. Number 6. According to stats, Spain has the second highest life expectancy of all the OECD countries at an impressive 83 years. Only the Japanese have a higher life expectancy. Figures show that Spanish women are outliving their male counterparts, 85 years compared to 79 years for men. Number 7. By 2050, the United Nations projects that Spain will have one of the oldest populations in the world. It estimates that in just 30 years, over 30% of the population will be aged 60 and above. Number 8. Despite the importance of religion in Spanish culture, apparently only 13.6% of Spain's population actually goes to church every Sunday. That said, some 70% of the locals still identify as Roman Catholic, according to a 2012 study by the Center for Sociological Studies in Spain. Number 9. Following the death of the right-wing dictator, General Franco, back in 1975, King Juan Carlos I returned to the throne. Once one of Europe's most popular monarchs, Juan Carlos fell from grace following a string of scandals. He abdicated in favor of his son, Felipe VI, in 2014. Number 10. According to official figures, in Spain, there's one tax inspector for every 1,928 taxpayers. For comparison, over the border in France, there's one inspector for every 729 residents. This may explain why the Spanish tax authorities estimate a quarter of Spain's GDP comes from the black market. Number 11. Statistics from 2019 show that Spain had the second highest unemployment rate in the EU, behind only Greece. However, the current rate of 13.8% is a significant improvement from the 24.2% unemployment rate Spain experienced back in 2015. Number 12. During the 5 years following the beginning of the global financial crisis in 2008, female entrepreneurs set up 40% of all new businesses in Spain. This totaled some 800,000 businesses and was a significant boost to the economy. Number 13. Now here's a surprising fact about Spain. Although many foreigners see paella as the Spanish national dish, many Spaniards don't. That's because most locals see the colorful rice dish as a Valencian dish, not a national one. Number 14. As local parents know all too well, the amount of out-of-school hours childcare in Spain is limited. That's why about a quarter of all grandparents take care of their grandchildren on a daily basis, looking after them once the local schools let out. Number 15. According to official stats, around half of all adults up to the age of 64 have the equivalent of a high school diploma, well below the OECD average of almost 75%. However, younger generations are bucking the trend, with 65% of millennials gaining the qualification, and the number is growing. Number 16. It won't come as much of a surprise that the Spanish enjoy taking things a little easier than other nationalities. In fact, according to an OECD report published back in 2013, the average Spaniard devotes 16 out of the 24 hours every day to leisure, including eating, drinking, and sleeping. Number 17. Back in 1605, Miguel de Cervantes wrote Don Quixote, widely considered to be the world's first modern novel. The seminal book is seen as one of the most important pieces of Spanish literature ever written and is a founding work of Western literature. Number 18. As of July 2019, Spain is home to a whopping 47 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, the third highest in the world. These include historic cities, monumental churches, and more. Only Italy and China have more UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Both have 55. Number 19. You'd be forgiven for thinking Greece or Italy produced most of the world's olive oil, but in actual fact, it's Spain that leads the way. The Iberian country produces some 1.5 million tons of the stuff, the vast majority of which comes from the southern region of Andalusia. Number 20. Spain leads the way when it comes to renewable energy. In fact, it was the first country in the world to have wind as the greatest source of its electricity. Back in 2013, wind turbines generated just under 54,000 gigawatt-hours of electricity, a fifth of the nation's usage. Number 21. At the legendary La Tomatina Festival, held every August, the festival sees revelers from around the world descend on the small town of Bunol, near Valencia. Visitors are encouraged to throw as many tomatoes as they can, but only once they've been squashed, to avoid any injuries. Number 22. Back in 2010, the European Social Survey found that 80% of respondents agreed that gay men and lesbians should be free to live their own lives. This compares to less than 40% of Croatians, Lithuanians, and Russians. Spain has a large LGBT community, and same-sex marriage has been legal since 2005. Number 23. Feeling peckish in Madrid? Well, you might want to check out Restaurante Baton, which the team at the Guinness World Records has awarded the title of the world's oldest restaurant. The eatery has been serving up its delicious signature dish of cochinillos asado, roast suckling pig, since 1725. Number 24. Historic palaces? Sweeping beaches? World-class mountain trekking? Whatever you're looking for, Spain has it in abundance. And that's why the visitors keep coming. In fact, in 2018, Spain was the second most popular global tourist destination, after France, welcoming a staggering 82.8 million visitors. Number 25. Spain is a country full of festivals. As well as La Tomatina, the country has a wide range of kooky Spanish festivals to check out. You can be chased by bulls during the festivals of San Fermin, watch huge ninettes, statues, get burnt during Las Fallas, or soak up some history at Romeria de Nuestra Señora de la Cabeza. There's never a dull moment in this sunny country. Number 26. Fancy becoming rich this Christmas? Well, in Spain, that might just happen. Held just before Christmas in Spain, the country's national lottery, El Gordo, the Fat One, had a total prize fund of 2.24 billion euros in December 2019. That makes it the world's largest total prize fund for any lottery. Number 27. When it comes to the beautiful game, the Spanish know how to play ball. La Roja topped FIFA's world rankings for over 5 years between 2008 and 2013. During that time, they won the 2010 World Cup and the European Championships in both 2008 and 2012. Number 28. Over the centuries, Spain has produced some of the world's greatest artists. From Diego Velázquez in the 17th century all the way through to Pablo Picasso and Salvador Dali in the 20th century, The country definitely has a habit of giving the world great artists. Number 29. The highest mountain in Spain is not located on the mainland. With an altitude of 3,718 meters above sea level and located on Tenerife on the Canary Islands, Mount Tide is in fact the highest point in Spain. Number 30. Kilometer Zero is a small sign on the Puerta del Sol in Madrid which marks the geographical center. From this point, all the distances of the national roads leaving Madrid are measured. Number 31. The most famous building on the UNESCO World Heritage Sites list is probably the Sagrada Familia in Barcelona. This Roman Catholic church is a masterpiece designed by the Catalan architect Antonio Gaudí. The construction of the church started in 1882 and is to this day still under construction. It is estimated that the Sagrada Familia will be finished in 2026, which will also mark 100 years after Gaudí has died. Number 32. At an elevation of 667 meters, Madrid is the second highest capital city in Europe after Andorra la Vella, the capital of Andorra. Number 33. The naming custom in Spain is that everyone has a double surname. Traditionally, the first surname is the father's first surname and the second surname is the mother's first surname. Number 34. Spain has a coastline of roughly 5,000 kilometers, which obviously means there are lots of beautiful beaches in Spain. According to the Foundation for Environmental Education, Spain has the world's highest amount of blue flag beaches. In 2019, a total of 566 Spanish beaches were awarded the blue flag status. Number 35. Spanish, Castilian, is a relatively easy language to learn. It's more a phonetic language, meaning you pronounce all letters very clearly and its written form is very close to its spoken language. And by this, I mean the properly spoken Spanish with no dialect pronunciations. Number 36. Spanish, Castilian, is a Romance language, but unlike French or Italian, Spanish also has some Arab influences in their language, coming from the era when Moors inhabited large parts of Spain. Number 37. Spain was occupied by the Moors for 800 years. The Moors arrived in Spain in the year 711 up to 1492 and left a significant cultural influence on the country still visible today. Number 38. The Moorish influence is still visible in some of the most visited sites in Spain. Examples are the Alhambra in Granada, the Mezquita, or Mosque, and the Medina Azahara in Córdoba, the Royal Alcázar, and the Giralda in Seville. Visiting these beautiful historical sites are some of the top things to do when visiting Spain. Number 39. Detached family houses are not commonly found in Spain, as most people live in apartments or flats. This architectural phenomenon is noticeable when exploring Spanish cities. Number 40. Spain adds sweetness to its New Year's Eve countdown with a unique custom. As the clock strikes midnight, individuals in Spain consume 12 grapes, one for each chime, in the hope of attracting good luck for the upcoming year.